In a previous video, we saw how to take this data, the Kentucky Derby winners.csv, separated value file, and doing manipulations in Google Sheets, extract some meaningful information from it. We were able to see things like the winning time versus year, the scatter plot, or the speed versus year, and also generate some histograms. In this video, we're going to see how to do the same things using the Pandas library in Python, and we'll be using it through the Colab notebooks tool via our Google Drive. So to get started, we want to download this file. There are ways to access the file directly via your Google Drive, but I think the easiest way to explain, just to get started, is to download and then upload. So we're going to click on CSV here as a download format. Okay. Depending on your operating system, it might automatically open in some location. With a program, I'm going to do a save as. I actually want to save this as a simpler name. I'll just save it as horses.csv. Checking that out in documents, I have horses.csv. Let's open it as a text file, and that looks correct. Every data point there is separated by a comma, and each row of the spreadsheet is separated by a carriage return, so it's on a separate line. It's important to note here that the first line is a header and has the names of the columns. We'll be using that quite a bit in this method. Now that we have the data, we want to come into our browser and go to colab.research.google.com. Takes us to this interface, and we'll choose New Notebook. This is a type of notebook called a Jupyter notebook, spelled like this, and the pi here is for Python. That's why it's spelled wrong. So we're going to say first from google.colab import. We're importing a library here, and the library is called files. It allows us to work with files. We also want to import a few other things. Here I've used this as construct. If I import a library, but call it not PDF, but PD, it means I can type PD, and that will refer to the Pandas library. So it just saves us a little bit of typing each time we refer to it. IO is a library for importing and exporting. Input-output is what it stands for. And this library, matplotlib.pyplot, is a library for making plots easily. I hit Shift-Enter to run this block of code. There's no output from it. I'm just loading those libraries. Now to get started, let's say data equals files.upload. Notice what happened here. I said files, and when I hit the dot, it shows that I have several options that are contained within the files module that we imported. So we're going to use files.upload. I want to upload my horses file to the drive. I'll hit Shift-Enter, and it gives me this option to browse, and we'll choose that file that we just grabbed from our Google Drive. I see that horses.csv is saved to horses.csv. Now we want to put that into a structure called a data frame. So to do that, we're going to use part of the Pandas library. I'm deleting data there because I just used that to look at what data or data variable currently looks like. Let's convert it. We'll say df for data frame is equal to pd.read_CSV. Remember, CSV stands for comma separated value. A nice thing about Jupyter notebooks in Colab notebooks here is that we get a whole lot of help, sometimes more help than I want, but it gives you a lot of hints, which will be helpful later. I know what to do here, so I'm going to do it. io.string, capital I-O. It gave me a hint here, which is nice, very kind. Open parentheses, and I will say data of horses.csv. Now you can see why I wanted a shorter file name there, so it wouldn't be as much to type. And I need to tell the system how the text is encoded here. There are a number of ways of encoding text, turning it from zeros and ones into numbers and letters. We will use decode here of single quote UTF-8, a particular Unicode format. And to see what that looks like, I'll just type df, and that will echo or show the file. I see here that I was missing a parenthesis. I see that I had an extra parenthesis here, and it needed to be out here. So notice when I type a parenthesis, it highlights the one that was opened and closed that go together. Let's try that again. And there's my data frame. Looks very organized. I have my row numbers here, and we can see that we have 145 rows. The first one is a header. Row number 144 is the 144th Kentucky Derby winner in the file. And the columns are labeled just like in our spreadsheet. So this is going to be really convenient to work with.